Every year, Sefton Council must set a budget to make sure that they deliver the essential services which everybody expects from them. This includes caring for the elderly, children, all the vulnerable people across the borough, to emptying the bins, cleaning the streets and much, much more. To find out more about how the council gets its funding and where the budget is spent, I've come to speak with Cllr Ian Maher, leader of Sefton Council. We've come to meet at Hawthorne Road Depot, which is where wagons leave each day to collect over 150,000 bins a week. This service alone costs the council nearly £7 million a year.
Almost all of our funding, well, the vast majority of it comes from three sources. It comes from government, it comes from council tax, and it comes from business tax rates. We have tremendous pressures ever growing on both adult social care and children's as well. You know, when you've lost, 51% of money from government since 2010, some £233 million and counting. It's really hard.
It must be difficult then for the council to balance its books. How does it do it?
We can only prioritise, and once we've prioritised on the things that we have to do, things I've mentioned already, we have to spread out the money as best we can to make sure all the other services that we provide are provided to the best of our ability.
One of the council's biggest priorities is looking after our vulnerable adults and children. In fact, £150 million is spent on social care alone, and that's 60% of the council's overall budget. The Menai Family Wellbeing Centre is just one example of how Sefton Council is offering communities social care and family support services all in one place. I've come here to talk to Dwayne Johnson, Sefton's Director of Social Care and Health. Nationally, social care is in crisis, but what's it like here in Sefton?
Well, we're seeing significant pressures on parents and carers and young people in Sefton, particularly in terms of our looked after children.
And so how do we deal with the pressures then?
Well, we're investing significantly in terms of our early intervention and prevention services, and we're here today in one of our family and wellbeing centres, and that's a really good example of how we're using council money to invest to support parents and support our young people in the area. We're also doing a lot of work around fostering, trying to encourage people to become foster parents. So they're the sorts of things we can do to support vulnerable people.
And it's not just children, is it? Where else does the money go into social care?
We spend a lot of our council resources on supporting vulnerable adults. So we've got a very high population of older people living in our borough. And we're also supporting a lot of people with learning disabilities, people who've got physical disabilities, and also people who need support with their mental health. So a lot of funding and a lot of work we're doing around services for those people.
I've come back to meet with Cllr Maher to talk about how the council remain optimistic despite the challenges it faces. So we've been talking a lot about the cuts that the council have had to make, but what are residents getting for the money that is left?
Well, as we've already mentioned, thousands of bins getting emptied every day. Hundreds of miles of road to look after. Still got our leisure centres, still got half a dozen libraries. Massive coastline, 22 miles of the best coastline in the country, I would say. We look after over 160 odd parks and green spaces across the borough. We have our golfing offer, the tourism offer in Southport, which brings in probably £500 million into our local economy. We continue to work with businesses to get more jobs, to make sure that we give the best offer that we can to attract people in, to give our local people jobs.
And so it's not all just doom and gloom then?
No, it isn't. It gets more difficult every year. We continue to look after our communities to the best of our ability. We continue to attract businesses in. We continue to just do things that people want us to do and people need us to do, despite the government's cuts. We're still standing. We'll keep standing. We are Sefton.
And if you want to know more about how the council spends its budget, visit www.sefton.gov.uk/budget.